welcome back. This is Newsfile, it's your most authoritative news analysis platform. And here on Newsfile, as always, we put Ghana first. And here is Samson's take. AG dummy misses it. Dimes lights. Godfred Yeboah-Dame, the youngest occupant of the office of Attorney General and Minister for Justice, has, in the last 2 weeks, dimmed the lights on his shining performance. I have done only a couple of cases with him on the other side, before and in his present office. Many lawyers will confess he is simply good at what he does at his game and feel proud that he is the man at the helm. But it's become difficult for many of us to associate his signature with those two letters, one conveying advice to the Auditor General and another defending the advice, deprecated as bizarre and unconstitutional interference in the exercise of the professional and independent mandates of the Auditor General. It is true, the Supreme Court has confirmed that the Auditor General or any independent constitutional body may assess the services of the Attorney General. However, the caution in Amegache versus Attorney General that such bodies like the judiciary and parliament should hire private lawyers of their choice where their position on an issue is in conflict with that of the Attorney General ought to be preferred any day. Justices Atuguba and Dateba affirmed that such bodies as SHRAJ, NCCE, and NMC sue and are sued in their own name and not through the Attorney General in order to avoid conflict of interest. The Auditor General audits the accounts of the Attorney General, Parliament, and bodies on whose boards some MPs sit or chair. Conflict of interest becomes inevitable if he must take advice or be represented by the Attorney General in certain cases, including the suit challenging the president's sacking of Daniel Yao Domelevo. It is equally untenable to insist that the Auditor General's report is not a complete or final product and therefore must not be published unless Parliament has debated it. Section 23 of the Audit Service Act's mandatory requirement for publication of the audit report immediately it is delivered to the Speaker of Parliament is sound, constitutional, and healthier for accountability. Finality of the report is not subject to Parliament. By Article 1877, the Auditor General shall not be under the direction or control of any person or authority and may order recovery of monies, issue disallowances and surcharges as he deems fit. This he does in the course of his work and not after the report has been debated by MPs. It is consequently plain that Parliament cannot vary, change, correct, or add anything to the report. If anyone feels aggrieved by his findings, the law directs them to appeal to the High Court, not Parliament. Like Yao Safo and others have successfully done in the past. Those aggrieved, they sue the Auditor General and not Parliament because it is the deed of the Auditor General. He is only supposed to draw Parliament's attention to irregularities which the MPs, representatives of the people, ought to know. And they must confront those quote-unquote indicted for misapplying funds, stealing, and other wrongdoing. The MPs debate and may give direction, particularly institutional correction and exercise their oversight duty to monitor implementation of recommendations, including prosecutions to be done by the Attorney General. Parliament often does this job several years after the report has been issued. But can you imagine a speaker with blind loyalty to a political party or government being in any hurry at all to pass the report on to Parliament's Public Accounts Committee if it indicts his party or the government? If people have been found to have stolen money in 2019, we must wait until Parliament finishes debating the report in 2025 before we go chasing them to recover the money? If we don't answer the purpose for laying the report for debate in Parliament, we will not resolve this argument. The purpose is to notify representatives of the people about the findings, and the debate is to help them monitor implementation of the recommendations, not to change anything or direct the Auditor General about anything in the report. Dear Attorney General, abandon this course and focus on what you have started in assisting the Auditor General to recover misused and stolen money. I doubt you will contemplate a suit to be titled AG versus AG for the Supreme Court to pronounce on this, or that you will attempt to sponsor an amendment to get what you seek. CDD, Occupy Ghana, and many citizens shall work to defeat any such project. What we currently have is best practice. Those audited participate in the process from start to finish. And if submitting the report to Parliament is not in itself a publication, publication on the Auditor General's website is direct accountability to the people who fund government and the agencies that are audited by the Auditor General. Let's even improve this system so the audits will be timely, the publications will be faster, along with recoveries and prosecutions. Ace Ankoma, Professor H. Kwesi Prempeh, and all your friends who have sued the government over the removal of Dome level, say to ask you if you will attempt to advise the Chief Justice in similar terms, because the judicial service, like the audit service, is also part of the public services under Article 190. Damn Lawyer Dame, damned, was in fact my initial topic. And that is my take. And this show, as always, is brought to you by Bank of Africa, strong as a group and close as a partner. MTN everywhere you go. Shasi University, educating ethical and entrepreneurial leaders for Africa. Robert & Sons Optical Services, your comprehensive eye care service provider. My Way Insurance, dial *165# on the MTN to join. St. Thomas Eye Hospital, providing excellence in eye care. We will be right back, and we will begin from Baku, where it has become clear that once there is an attempt to bring the wanted chief, because the state has declared him wanted, he ought to be arrested, and those involved in his enskinment, that since any time he is found being transported into Baku, it's very likely that the situation there will escalate. How do we de-escalate the situation? That's our job on Newsfile this morning. We'll be right back.